This is the enrichment page for section 8.4. They explain how you should set this up here. Now, if you didn't understand that, I'll go through a couple of these just so it makes a little more sense. In number one, they're asking you how many squares are in each figure. So here's what they want you to do. They want you to name each region with a capital letter. So I took a second and did that. Now what you want to do is find every single square that's made with one region. For example, is region A a square? It's not. Neither is B. That's a rectangle. Is C a square? Yeah, it sure looks like it. So we're going to say that C is a square. Also, D is a square. E, F, G, H, I, and J are all squares. Those are all of the figures using one letter or one region that are squares. There's 8 of those. Now the next thing you're going to do is see if you can put two regions together to make a square. For example, A and B together, would that make a square? It doesn't. Does A and C make a square? Does A and D make a square? Does D and E make a square? No two regions are going to make a square in this diagram. How about 3? A, C, D. That's going to make a square. So I'm going to use 3 letters, A, C, D, then put a comma. Same thing with B, E, and F. That's going to make a square as well. G, H, K. I, J, L. Those regions make squares, and you use 3 letters. So this is an efficient way to go through and make sure that you name every single square that's possible. There's 4 of them there. Now bump up to 4 letters. You can make a square right here, C, D, H, G. I put a G first. You can also make a square with D, E, I, H. E, F, J, I. Those are regions with 4 letters that make squares. That's the only 3. Can you put 5 letters together to make a square? Well, you could definitely put 5 letters together, like A, C, D, G, H, but that's not going to make a square. So there's nothing with 5 letters. Same thing with 6 letters. That's not going to make a square. But notice how the big figure is a square. So if you put all the letters together, that makes a square. Now if you add those up, you end up with 16 squares. Okay, so for number 4, you're doing the same thing. They want to know how many rectangles are in each figure. So I'm just going to name each region. And then I'm going to name each rectangle. Now this one's a little bit tougher because squares are rectangles, remember. So how many rectangles use 1 letter? We've got A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, all with 1 letter. That's 7. Now let's put 2 letters together, like A, B. That makes a rectangle also. AC doesn't, AD doesn't, but CD does. BE does. FG does. CF does. DG does. I'm going to take a second and make sure I have all of them. I'm thinking that I do, but sometimes this is tough to make sure that you have all of them. Okay, so those are all with 2 letters. I think I got them all. Looks like there's 6. Now let's use 3 letters. So I can do A, C, D. Three letters. Maybe that's all with 3 letters, huh? No, we can do D, E, G as well. I think that's all. So with 3 letters, it looks like we have 2 shapes. Now, we need to go with 4 letters at this point. So our 4 letters could be C, D, F, G. That might be all as well. So you can see how this gets more complicated, but this is the most efficient way to do it and go through and check to make sure you have everything. So we'll say there's just 1 there with 4 letters. 5 letters. I got that guy right there. A, C, D, F, G. And that might be all. Nope, we can do this one right here. C, D, F, G, E. So it looks like there's 2 with that. 5 letters. 6 letters. Thinking no on that one. Nothing with 6. And then 7 letters, obviously, is the whole thing. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So I think I have them all at this point, and then I'm just adding them. 7 and 6 is 13, 2 more is 15, 18, 19, I think. That's the idea. And again, I don't know if I got every single one of them there, but that's the process that you want to use.